And welcome back to part 2 of the Real Sports Repo. We just finished talking about the Jags and Saints. You got anything to add to that game?
Nope, just that the Jags are going to have some growing pains this year. And once again, all the weight will be on Mojo's shoulders.
All right, so then we're going to move on to the Vikings and the Chiefs. Chiefs beating the Vikings 22-17. McNabb went 18 to 30, 202 yards and 2 touchdowns. Adrian Peterson went 23 rushes with 80 yards. Matt Castle went 18 of 29, 260 yards and a touchdown. And Dwayne Bowe, 5 receptions, 107 yards, and a touchdown. So McNabb, 18 of 30, 202 yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, great numbers for McNabb, and yet another Viking loss. How does this happen?
Well, this happens the same way it happened for the Eagles this week. Defense just didn't hold up. Once again, they have a lead and they find a way to blow it. So they're 0-4. They need to run the ball a little bit more with Adrian Peterson when it gets to these situations. When they have a lead, that's when they need to start going heavier on the run and lighter on the pass. Maybe that'll eat up a little more clock and give them a chance to actually get a win under their belt. I didn't see the Vikings at 0-4, but I did see them at the bottom of the NFC North. Maybe a possible 2-2, even a 1-3. I could see that, but 0-4 is what I didn't envision. 1-3 for the Chiefs right now. Well, that seems about fitting, just given the way that they've been playing. They actually put up some points the week before last, before actually putting up only 6 points in their first 2 games. So, for the first quarter of the season, both teams have looked really, really sorry. And let's hope that somebody picks it up because obviously the Vikings aren't, and neither are the Chiefs. 1-3 still is not going to cut it in the AFC West, where the San Diego Chargers are dominating that division as they usually do. And in the NFC North, 0-4 is going to get you nothing unless you flip that over and you're 4-0 because the Detroit Lions, the Green Bay Packers, and the Chicago Bears are playing football. The Bears are only 2-2, but they're only 2 games back. And the Lions and the Packers are 4-0, but still, they're undefeated. They're the only 2 undefeated teams left in the NFL.
That is very true. Now, the next one was a very, very interesting game. The Giants had a 2-touchdown lead in the fourth quarter to the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals came back and took the lead 27-24. The Giants then came back and won that one 31-27. Some controversy, late game intricacy, I could put it, between that one, but the Giants ended up winning that one 31-27. Manning was 27 of 40, 321 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kevin Cobb was 20 of 34, 237 yards, and 1 pick, no touchdowns. Beanie Wells, 27 carries for 138 yards, 3 touchdowns. And Akeem Nicks, 10 catches for 162 yards and a touchdown. Topsy-turvy game all over the place. What did you see in this game?
What I saw was the same thing that I saw from the Giants week in and week out. They played some good football, and in the words of Dion, I believe in Eli. Eli Manning played a great game. He did exactly what he needed to do. Hakeem Nicks is probably one of the strongest receivers in the league right now. I haven't seen a kid that young do pull off some of the things that he does. He rips away from defenders. And when the ball comes, you better be ready to fight. And it better be like a backyard brawl because Hakeem Nicks right now looks like Kimbo Slice, and you look like that chump on the other end of the YouTube video that's going to get beat up when you're actually going to try to fight for the ball with him. He steals it. He doesn't care how you feel about it. He takes it, and he does what he has to do. On the other side of the ball, Beanie Wells had a great game rushing. Kevin Cobb obviously still has a few growing pains in this offense, and he's still going to be learning things here and there. The controversy that you're talking about is Victor Cruz actually falling down to the ground and putting the ball down and going right back to the huddle. Now, the rule states that if a player does not try to advance himself forward and gives himself up, therefore the play is stopped, it is over. So, technically speaking, Victor Cruz didn't do anything wrong. He did not try to advance. He didn't go forward. He didn't look like he was trying to go forward. So he gave himself up. The play is over. You got to go back to the huddle.
And unfortunately, unreviewable.
Yep, you got to bite the bullet on that
one. The next game we're going to talk about, the only reason that the Falcons got the win on this one was a missed late game field goal by the Seahawks that would have won the game with no time left on the clock. But as it turned out, the Falcons got the 30-28 win. Matt Ryan was 28 of 42, 291 yards and a touchdown. Michael the Burner Turner was 26 carries, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Tavares Jackson, not a bad game at all. 25 of 38, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns. Not a game I expected from him. What about you?
I saw a lot of growth from the Seattle Seahawks as far as their offense goes. And especially, you can see that Tavares Jackson and Sidney Rice definitely have chemistry from their days over in Minnesota. So I saw a little bit of growth in their offense. Defense looked okay. Earl Thomas is always still usually the bright spot over there. Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons, they did what they had to do. Matt Ryan threw the ball pretty well. He got the ball to his receivers. And Michael Turner did what he had to do. He got those touchdowns when he needed to, got some yardage, and things went well. So Falcons come away with the win. Close loss for the Seattle Seahawks, but hopefully things will get better for them.
History made in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers becomes the first quarterback in NFL history to rush for 2 touchdowns, pass for 4 touchdowns. He did throw a pick. He was 29 of 38 for 408 yards passing. On the other side of that coin, Kyle Orton was 22 of 32, 273 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. Greg Jennings had 103 of Aaron Rodgers' 408. He had one of his touchdown passes. Jordy Nelson, 5 receptions, 91 yards, another one of his touchdown passes. And Brandon Lloyd for Denver, 8 receptions, 136 yards. The Packers running all over the Broncos, 49-23. History made in Green Bay. What do you make of that game?
Well, I can't make much of it. All I can say is that Aaron Rodgers, you are great. You are definitely one of the elite quarterbacks in the league. I'll take that pick. If you give me four passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns every game, you throw as many picks as you want. I don't care. So we're not going to lose. We have 49 points. And what are they doing on the other side of the ball? Nothing. Sorry. Denver, you got to find a running game. Your defense has to get better. I understand you drafted Von Miller. He's a leader, but you got to give him people to lead. So you got to get your defense together. Where's Champ Bailey? That name rings a bell. He used to be one of the meanest, toughest DBs in the league. Haven't heard much from you, Champ. Not more like Champ. A little bit like Chump. Haven't heard much. You need to get out there and show people you're still the champ. That's who you really are. Kyle Orton, I love you. Still a good quarterback. Brandon Lloyd, great receiver. You guys make a great tandem. But you need Eddie Royal on the field. He wasn't there. And that injury is kind of harsh to you guys' offense. So step your game up, man, because the fans will continue to want Tebow. But luckily, your coach wants you.
Okay, and while we're on the subject of the Green Bay Packers, Mr. Johnson, Brett Favre made a comment on air on Atlanta radio yesterday saying that, he's not surprised that Aaron Rodgers won the championship. He was just surprised with how long it took him and that Aaron Rodgers fell into the right situation. What do you make of this whole story?
We're going to get into that on a whole nother segment because I want to get done with this show because I'm going to lay into Brett Favre. And people aren't going to like it, but I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. So we're going to finish this show, and we're going to give y'all a little extra show at the end of this because I'm going to tell you exactly why Brett Favre is who he is. And I'm going to leave you hanging with that.
Well, we look forward to that. So next thing we're going to talk about then is the Patriots and the Raiders. Patriots running over the Raiders 31-19. Tom Brady was 16 of 30, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Jason Campbell was 25 of 39, 344 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks. Wes Welker, 9 receptions, 158 yards, and a touchdowns. And Ridley had 10 carries for 97 yards and a touchdown. Run DMC did not run. What did you see in this game?
Well, I saw the Patriots front seven do their job in slowing down Darren McFadden and not having him all over the place and running everywhere. As well, I saw Tom Brady be Tom Brady, lead the Patriots to a win. Wes Welker was Wes Welker, running all over the place and continuing to do what he does. So I just saw the Patriots beat up on the Raiders. That's exactly what happened. Tom Brady, Wes Welker, great tandem.
The Chargers defeated the Dolphins 26-16. Matt Moore was 17 of 26, 167 yards. Phillip Rivers, 21 of 31, 307 yards and 1 TD. And Jackson had 3 receptions, Vincent Jackson, for 108 yards and a touchdown. What did you see in this game?
Well, I saw the Chargers beat up on the Dolphins. The Dolphins are 0-4. They're not going to win much this year, if they win anything at all. Tony Sperano's possibly on the hot seat. Chad Henne's time is most likely up. They're going to draft another quarterback next year, see what they can do with whoever they draft. Maybe they get in the sweepstakes for Andrew Luck, knowing he'll be coming out of college next year. And I saw the Chargers continue to roll. Phillip Rivers, I still believe in you. You're still one of the top 5 quarterbacks in my mind. And saw you go straight to V-Jack and let him tear up anybody who tries to guard him because he's just a big beast and people are always afraid of him. Ryan Matthews had an okay game, wasn't great on the rushing, but he still did his job, and he's continually looking better and continually improving. Your defense held up pretty well. And the Dolphins, I really don't know what to tell you, man. You got to get better. 0-4 ain't going to cut it, not for Tony Sperano, not for the city of Miami, and really not for my boy Dan Marino. He had a hard enough time not winning the Super Bowl. I don't think he's happy watching you guys going 0-4.
Sunday Night Football was not as good of a game as it was promised to be. Basically, unfortunately for the Jets fans, Jets got hammered. They treated Mark Sanchez like it was their punching bag. The Ravens ended up winning that game 34-17. Sanchez was only 11 of 35 with 119 yards. Flacco, again, he didn't play that well either. He was only 10 of 31 for 163 yards. But Ray Rice, 25 rushes for 66 yards and a touchdown. Not a lot of offense in this game. What did you see?
Well, I saw a Jets offensive line that faltered as soon as Nick Mangold got injured. They're just not holding up well enough for Mark Sanchez to stay upright and be able to throw the ball correctly. So that's why the Jets offense didn't get anywhere. That's why the Ravens defense played around with them and toyed with him and made Mark Sanchez their punching bag and just got to him as quickly as they wanted. The Ravens offense did what they had to do, put up the points. They scored. They won. Ed Reed is a beast. Ray Lewis is still a beast. There's no love lost between him and Rex Ryan. They still love each other. They always talk to each other. Ravens just came out and played hard D and played hard ball and won. That's just how it works.
All right, in the last game of the week, Monday Night Football, Bucks and the Colts played an actually a pretty good game. Bucks won that game 24-17. Curtis Painter, not great, but for his first career NFL start, pretty good numbers. 13 of 30, 281 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Josh Freeman, 287 yards, 1 touchdown. He had 6 rushes for 27 yards, and he also had a touchdown rushing. And LeGarrette Blount, 25 rushes, 127 yards, and a touchdown. Not much you could say about him except beast. What did you see in this game?
You said it all right then and there. Stats, everything that happened, everything worked out well. Curtis Painter did show me something. He did look good. He looked okay. He didn't look like a bad QB. Josh Freeman did his thing. He had a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown. And Garrett Blount been running all over everybody. And looks like the Bucs will carry that into next week. And hopefully they can continue to keep rolling if they feel like they're going to roll on and beat the 49ers. But Curtis Painter actually showed me something. So Curtis Painter, I now know who you are. And I may be a little guy right now, but when I'm a big guy, you can look back at this and laugh at me. But Curtis Painter showed me a little bit, and Josh Freeman continued to be who he was, and things looked okay for the Bucs.
All right, so join me and Dion as we will talk Brett Favre. here in just a few minutes. And then, as always, join us for our weekly wrap every Tuesday. We want to thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great rest of your week.
Real Sports Repo.
Out.